troubling to see the various pro-Palestinian demonstrations against Israel here in America, and especially from so-called Christians who should know better. Even in a nutshell, if we just look at Israel from what initiated this conflict with the terrorist group Hamas, for which the Palestinian people have allowed to be infiltrated and run as a safe haven, attacked and killed over 1,400 Israelis at the end of a crowded weekend event, where camera footage shows these cowards walking up to unsuspecting victims, shooting them in their cars, breaking into their homes, and if they were barricaded inside, these savages would torch the houses with women and children burned alive, and then took over 200 hostages of the old, of women, and of children. Yet what infuriates me over here in America is that our news outlets will give us a daily dose of Palestinian children that were killed or crying as the consequence for Israel's retaliation for being struck first. I recall Israel being criticized for defending itself against a cowardly army of thugs that hide themselves amongst the masses. These cretins struck first as the people of Israel were minding their own business. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has always been straightforward for the defense of Israel and rightfully makes no apologies, and he reminded America of how it reacted in retaliation for 9/11. You know, in war, there will be casualties of the innocent, of children, of women, and of the elderly, and especially when the instigators of war are not in the form of a country, just like with our situation from 9/11. Defense for yourself as a nation will not be pretty. God himself in the Bible would ordain war against those who were against the Jewish people to take everyone out, which included women, children, and the elderly. But in today's society, we get holier than God himself when it comes to what is righteous or what is to be perceived as such. God's protection of Israel is a reoccurring theme in the Bible. The Lord has promised to protect Israel, the apple of God's eye, from all harm. Here are some Bible verses that underline this. In Zechariah 2:8, "For this is what the Lord Almighty says, after the glorious one has sent me against the nations that have plundered you, for whoever touches you touches the apple of his eye." Deuteronomy 32:11 and 12. Like an eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, that spreads its wings to catch them and carries them aloft, the Lord alone led him. No foreign God was with him. Deuteronomy 33 and 29. "Blessed are you, Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord. He is your shield and helper of your glorious sword. Your enemies will cower before you, and you will tread on their heights." Isaiah 46 and 4. "I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you." Psalms 121, 4 and 5. "Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life." These verses remind us that God is always watching over Israel and protecting it from all harm. As Christians, we can take comfort in the fact that God is always with us, protecting us and guiding us through life. We can trust in his promises and know that he will never leave us or forsake us. Israel holds a significant place in Christianity. The Bible tells us that God made a covenant with Israel to make them a great nation and promised to send a Savior to rescue them from oppression. Jesus was a Savior, was born in Bethlehem, Israel, and spent most of his life there. He was crucified and resurrected in Jerusalem, Israel. The importance of Israel in Christianity can be understood in the following ways. Number one, Israel is the birthplace of Jesus. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Israel, and spent most of his life there. His teachings and miracles were performed in Israel, and he was crucified and resurrected in Jerusalem, Israel. Number two, Israel is the land of the Bible. Israel is the land where the events of the Bible took place. It is the land where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived, where Moses received the 10 Commandments, and where David ruled as king. Number three, Israel is a testament to God's faithfulness. God made a covenant with Israel to make them a great nation and promised to send a Savior to rescue them from oppression. And despite Israel's disobedience and rebellion, God remained faithful to his promises and continued to bless Israel. Number 4, Israel is a reminder of God's grace. Christians believe that salvation comes through faith in Jesus Christ. However, God's grace was first extended to Israel, and Christians are grafted into the family of God through their faith in Jesus Christ. Number 5, Israel is a sign of the end times. The Bible tells us that Israel will play a significant role in the end times. The reestablishment of Israel as a nation in 1948 is seen by many Christians as a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. So in summary, Israel is significant in Christianity because it is the birthplace of Jesus, the land of the Bible, a testament to God's faithfulness, a reminder of God's grace. The Jewish people are God's chosen because they were the first to realize that this God is the genuine God of gods, the King of kings, so to speak. And though to this day they still seek the Messiah, yet he's already come in the form of Jesus. God the Father still keeps his promise to them as the chosen ones, which is why in spite of the hardships they endure, which is an offshoot of their rejection of the Son, they still have the Father's overall protection, not being totally annihilated due to Israel's many enemies, which is why Christians are to stand with Israel, because the Father will never leave them or forsake them. No, said.